I want it all. Love you deeply. I need you, you're on and on. Spin around for me, let me see ya. Red carpet, that's how I'ma treat ya. Say the word and I'll be right there. Ain't no other can compare. Cause when I'm looking into you, something's going on with me. Nobody's made me feel like you do. You ain't got nothing to prove. Now you're here with me. No more loving casually. Yeah, it's alright. And even we got time. Seeing those things that keep me up all night. Doing that thing, you know you're fine. It's alright. Go all night. We won't stop till the daylight. Take it slow, let's take this ride. Ain't gotta rush it, I got time. Can't wait till I see you in my t-shirt. When you're teasing me, I love the way you flirt. Baby, giving you, yeah, all my love. You're the only one that I can give up. Tell me what you need, I won't ignore. We can be free when we close the door. I've been who you're waiting for. Everything and more. Taking those things that keep me up all night. Doing that thing, you know you're fine. It's alright, go all night. We won't stop till the daylight. Take it slow, let's take this ride. Ain't gotta rush, baby, we got time. We got time. Aliens, the latest, made it, I'm ready. Big rings, you scream, the latest, aliens. 날 더 자극해 봐 난 다 받을게. 작디 작은 불씨도 확 반응해. 차갑다가도
Yeah, what's up, everybody? You're here at Wonderville on a Thursday night for WordHack. Make some noise with your hands and faces. Oh, yeah. Wow, look at this excellent crowd. What a cool group of people here hanging out on a Thursday. Thanks so much for coming out. We cut the music a little bit. It's such a cool guitar. Yeah, thanks so much. Welcome to WordHack. I'm your host, Todd Anderson. It's really great to be here with you all. We got a really special night for you. We're going to be joined by Al Sweigart and Daniel Temkin as our featured presenters. Give it up for your featured presenters. And one thing I have tended to like to do in the first show of the year is just have a little bit of an extended open projector here, where that's going to be our third featured presenter is several of you on the open projector. But before I get into the open projector, I'll explain a little bit for some. It might be some of your first show here. WordHack, if this is your first time here, even if it isn't, it'll still be what it is. It's a monthly show here at Wonderville. It's been going for 12 and a half years now. Pretty cool, thank you. And it's a monthly show, a little prime slice of real estate at ye old intersection of language and technology. So it's a place basically where if you're interested in computer or letter or word or book or play or fiction, or if you're interested in of this idea space of ways computers can affect how we write or how we read, and new forms that writing and language can take. People come to that in a lot of different ways. I came to it from my background is in poetry, and then I eventually started writing like poems that I presented live on a projector, and kind of like figuring out how that affected the poetic process. And some people come to it through cramming a bunch of novels into a computer program and then making new novels that way. Or some people come to it by like making a video game and writing a really complex storytelling engine that allows for a lot of different choices. And some people come to it by doing a lot of research on a dead language and running and loading all this language into some different algorithms and seeing what are the structures of a language that may not have ever anyone have heard spoken, and then you can suddenly figure out how it is. All sorts of people are kind of like in this space, but there's not a lot of places where we can all get together and have a beer and hear what each other are thinking about, what each other are working on, and get a little inspired. So that's kind of the goal here. And a big part of that is the open projector, which is one of our features this evening, and I always have at the top of the show. It's just set up like an open mic of 5-minute presentations. I'm going to be keeping 5-minute time on my phone, so don't be surprised if you hear a little phone jingle at the end. It just means just kind of wrap it up when you hear that little phone jingle. But it's important to me, especially like when I started the show in 2014. There were not a lot of places. If you had taught your computer to do a cool thing, there weren't a lot of places you could show people what you taught your computer to do. There weren't a lot of places where like you could just like get in and like someone had an HDMI cord that's like, I hope someone does something with this HDMI cord and hope it shows it. Like I still have my like big spandex sheet that I would bring with bungee cords to the poetry venue and set it up between the bookshelves and plug in my little $250 projector and project on there. And it was rough back in the day. And really, I'm really happy to be able to create a space where the thing you've taught your computer to do, you can share with the people in this room and with our friends on twitch.tv/WondervilleNYC. Hello. Hey, Funtopia. Good to see you, Fun. And it's an important milestone. I feel like in my artistic practice, a lot of what has motivated me is not like abstract numbers on the internet, but just like being very sensitive to the live reactions of people in a room. And something doesn't feel real or like you've accomplished it until living human people have acknowledged it physically in your presence. And maybe some of you are like that as well, where getting a little bit of in-person human acknowledgement makes you feel like you've accomplished a thing. And we like to provide that opportunity here at the Open Projector, where the special thing your computer has been taught to do can be celebrated. We've got 9 names on this open projector list. We've got our special extended open projector. That's going to be the first half of our show. Really excited about that. So excited to have all of you on here. This did fill up sort of quick this time, so if you want to get on the open projector in the future, it is a great time to do so. Sign up goes out at 6:45, and if you tried to get on today and weren't able to, just come talk to me during a break. I'll help make sure you get on next time. But let's get things started with our open projector. Let's give a warm WordHack welcome to Josh.
I'll sit and do it in Spalding Gray style to increase the gravitas because it is a serious matter. So I have very bad news. You all already know about this, but I don't think you appreciate how urgent the problem is. The AIs are coming for your memories, and I think we have about a year left to preserve your photo collections. What's going to end up happening is within a year from now, it will be impossible to tell the difference between an AI-generated image and one that you had from before the AIs were able to do it. And you're like, well, I know which ones are mine and I know which ones aren't. I'm not that worried. But it's a little bit harder than that. I'm going to give you a couple scenarios that hopefully will scare you. The first is, in however many years from now, your granddaughter is going to come to you and be like, what were you like when you were my age, 8 years old? And you're going to be like, oh, I have a great story. I was wearing a tutu, and here's a picture of me when I was 8 years old wearing a tutu. And she's going to be like, Grandpa, that is obviously AI generated. You were not wearing a tutu. I'll never know what you were really like because I can't tell what's AI and what's not. But way worse is that we're already starting to see the AIs embellish the images that we already have. So already on most people's phones, it can create a synthetic picture where maybe all the people in your family were at a birthday party when they weren't all at that birthday party, or everybody was smiling, but everybody was not smiling. And that's going to get increasingly more aggressive. And we're all humans, and we're subject to false memories. If we see the picture of Uncle Joe being at our birthday party when we were 12 enough times, we're going to remember that Uncle Joe was at our birthday party. And there's going to be we're going to be like, wait, was he? Wasn't he? I don't know. I'm going to call my sister. I'm going to go look at my pictures. Wait, is that picture an AI picture? Is that a real one? So I think it's really important to right now, while you still have the opportunity, make it so you know which pictures are real. And to make this possible, I made a tool. It's called Your Merkle. I wrote it for me, and then I was like, if I'm going to do all the work, might as well let everyone else use it too. If you want to use this tool, it's so easy, so simple. You just download it from GitHub, and you run it on your collection of photos, and it will give you a number, a really big number, but like not that, it fits in a tweet. Once you have that number, put that number somewhere where the AIs can't change it. You can write it on a piece of paper and put it in a box and bury it in your backyard. You can put it in a tweet. You can put it on the blockchain. You can tattoo it on your arm. Just some place where in the future you'll be able to show that that number existed today. And then from that number, you can prove that any photograph in your collection existed as of the day you ran that program. So really, I know you're like, okay, that actually does make a lot of sense, but like I got a deadline next week or something. We don't know when that transition is going to happen, but it's going to happen soon. The sooner you do that, the better. I have 250,000 pictures in my collection. It took me about 30 seconds to do the entire process. So my name is Josh. My website is josh.com. Go to josh.com right now, and you'll see that the first article on there right now, and it'll still be there when you get home tonight, is about how to actually run this program on your own image collection. And that's it. Good. Thanks.
Thank you, Josh of josh.com. Yeah, I was worried like, oh, did we get the name of the tool the first time? But people are not going to have any trouble finding it. Thanks so much, Josh. Up next on the open projector, it's Miles. Give it up for Miles.
No. Where's the?
It takes like 5 to 10 seconds.
Oh, okay.
There it is.
Hello, my name is Miles. I'm going to talk to you about some work I've done over the past year or so. I've been working on making computer chips, and I'm not really going to talk mostly about the computers, but mostly just like the byproducts of the process, some of which are media studies related. So computer chips is like a hard thing. It's like, yeah, and you end up like, you know, doing like weird things, putting materials in weird situations, very like exotic processes. You got high temperatures. This was like a early thing I tried, which like from the picture you could tell obviously did not work. There's, you know, other fancy kit like vacuum chambers and stuff. I do a lot of work at Columbia, so this is up there. But today I'm going to talk about this tool. This is a lithography tool. It's a laser writer, so it's a printer. If you've heard anything about semiconductor manufacturing, it's usually lithography related. And this tool allows you to print extremely small features. And when I learned how to use this tool, I was like super excited about it. So like I printed pictures of my friends, and I would, you know, give them like these like large picture frames with these like tiny high resolution pictures of them in the middle because I thought it was funny. I also printed like maps, like super high resolution. I would like scrape off Google Maps like these satellite images and then like put like New York City on like a thumbnail or something. This was like an elephant. This was like an insanely high, like hyper realistic elephant image. You can like zoom in for even further than is shown there, and you can see all the hairs and the texture and stuff. This was the most recent one. This is a billion digits of pi. Each digit's like a blood cell in size. It's actually in that box, so if you want to see it after, let me know. So I mean, you can see like all these different iterations I went through. I wasn't sure what this was about. I did a lot of the printing on gold though, just because it was cool. It was it's like 50 nanometer thick layer of gold with like on a sapphire substrate, and like gold and sapphire is interesting because they're, you know, fancy, I guess. And sapphire is very hard, gold is very inert, right? And so this like kind of ended up being this platform that was like this dense information storage media that kind of like lasts a very long time. And so I was like trying to reverse engineer the message from the media, and I kind of landed on like this is about like communicating things to the future, because like this will live forever, unlike like a cloud storage bucket on your Google Drive or AWS. It doesn't really require external infrastructure. It's like all there, all the bits. There's like 5 gigabytes of data on this billion digits of pi thing. So anyway, I was like working with some friends, CW&T, who some of you may know. They're like a design firm in Brooklyn, and we like made like a little compartment for this so it wouldn't break and stuff. And this is like a lens. So you can view it, and this is just like a thing in your pocket that will last 10,000 years, hopefully. The reason I'm talking to you about it today is because we made this like collective like image that will be displayed basically. And so there's like these 500 by 500 pixel parcels. And altogether they make up like what will actually be printed on the final thing. And there's a lot of empty space, and I figured this would be a great audience to like pitch to just add stuff. So I have like a bunch of like little coupons that will just like allow you to, you know, freely add stuff to this. So if you're interested in doing that, just like let me know. I'm sure you guys probably can think of very interesting things to put, and we'd love to have them. So this is my project. If you want to talk to me about this or computer chips or something in the middle, I don't know, whatever, let me know. I'll be around. Thanks.
Very cool. Thank you, Miles. Big CW&T fan. Up next on the open projector, we have Ian. Give it up for Ian.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ian. This is Fast Concordance. It is a concordance, and it is fast, hopefully. It may not be fast if all of you try to use it at once. So the idea with a concordance is that these were traditionally actual printed books that were made in the past, and the book would show a list of all of the words that appeared in a particular work. So typically this would be something like the Bible or some like big important book like that. And then it would show for each word in the book a list of all the occurrences of that word in the work. And so in the past, these were assembled actually by hand, and so that was a very laborious process, and that's why it was only done for books like the Bible. But now that computers exist, you can make an instant concordance of any book you like. So this site is based on over 1,000 public domain classic books, courtesy of Standard eBooks, which is a cool project. And you can enter any word you like. You can scroll down, and the way the information is presented is you have kind of the center column with the search word and then the occurrence of the word in all the different places. And so, I don't know. It can be an interesting way to use as a linguistic or a tool for literary analysis. You can also enter phrases as well if you'd like, and you can see various interesting things. I used a few tricks to make it fast. The core algorithm is just string search. There's nothing fancy going on there. There's no indexing or caching or anything. Every search is done live against the entire corpus. So there are a few things I had to do to make that fast. The first and most important trick was just to preload everything into memory. If you tried to do all of the searches against the corpus on disk, it would just be too slow no matter what you did. In my case, the corpus is about 600 megabytes, so it's pretty reasonable to just load that into memory, even on a pretty small computer. The second optimization was using parallel search. So I wrote it in Go. Go has good support for concurrency. Basically, I just spawn a Go routine for each text in the corpus and let the scheduler handle the rest. It does it pretty fast in a parallel manner. I spent a little bit of time trying to do some SIMD optimization because string search is very amenable to that. I couldn't get it any faster. I suspect that the Go regex library is already using SIMD under the hood, and so you're not going to get anything better by a hand-rolled implementation. I can't prove that. If you can prove that, please talk to me. And then the last thing that I did is the Go routines actually stream back the results to the front end as the matches are found. And it turns out that you don't need to do anything fancy. You don't need WebSockets or anything. You can do this with plain HTTP. Basically, you just give a write channel to, or like the right end of the pipe to each of the Go routines, and then they can just independently write the matches as they find it. They flush the HTTP writer, and then on the JavaScript side, there's just a little API that you can use to read the results incrementally. But you can do it in a pretty simple program. There are a couple other things that I did. Yeah, honestly, this is maybe only 50% done. I think the big thing that is missing is that, like, in a real concordance, they will do, like, the family of related words. So if you search drink, for instance, it would show drinks and drank and all the other forms of the word. That's currently not implemented. It's also not really even as fast as I would like it to be. But anyway, if I've piqued your interest, come talk to me and maybe you can convince me to do the other 50% of the work. But that's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ian. That is certainly the fastest concordance I have seen. Up next, we have Andrew. Give it up for Andrew.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, no.
What a great start.
Check. Hi, my name is Andrew. I worked really hard on what I thought were some pretty innovative websites. But when fame and fortune came calling last weekend, and a major tech outlet decided to post something I've done, they chose a website I made in a day about putting rotating sandwich GIFs on an alignment grid, causing 200 gigabytes of egress on Vercel because I did not use compression or object storage. This event is called WordHack. Sandwiches are not words. But the alignment grid is made of words and is a semantic measurement tool. So I think I'm good. As for the website itself, I'll let webcurios.co.uk explain it. Sandwich alignment. The sort of thing which feels frivolous, but which at the same time might be the deepest bit of psychological, emotional analysis you undertake this year. This website takes images of sandwiches from tiny award-winning website Rotating Sandwiches and gives you a grid on which to map them in terms of their alignment. Good, evil, chaotic, lawful. Why? Because this is how you learn about yourself. All caps. That's pretty much it. The only thing they didn't mention is that there's a submit board feature which allows you to contribute your opinion to science and leave a note in the process. I received 134 submissions with 5 or more sandwiches and received notes such as, "This is extremely accurate. The rest are not sandwich enough for me to evaluate effectively, and I will answer no questions." So you might ask, according to science, is there consensus? Yes, sort of. So, do you guys want to see the results? Yeah. All right. So, I'm going to pull up the user submissions. I figured 5 or more sandwiches was enough effort to warrant being included on the consensus board. So we can look at the average position of each sandwich in order to get an idea of the extreme opinions. So this is all the average positions. You know, X, Y coordinates, take the average. And then if we look at sandwiches far enough away from the center, we could get an idea of, you know, extreme opinions. So here we have these pro-capitalist sandwiches, which are very easy to eat. You know, like, this is efficiency sandwich. Like, you eat this, you get back to your job. You can eat this while driving. And then over here we have the Swedish hot dog with shrimp salad. This demands a little bit more respect. Somebody's already taken a bite out of it. You know, it's very collectivist. You know, this is a thing. You need to take a moment and do this. So, you know, I agree with the chaotic. I'm not really good or evil. I don't know. I think the jury's still out in my little brain. The broccoli Reuben. This is just pure evil. I completely agree with this. Anyway, so that's extreme opinions, but that's not actually consensus. Consensus, we need to look at the variance. We need to look at the spread. So we need to find instances for each observation, calculate the variance, and find, you know, a lower variance is going to be higher consensus. Higher variance is going to be people don't agree. So if we look at the lowest spread. So these are the these are the things that people agree about the most. People are pretty convinced that this guy is really chaotic and evil. The Swedish hot dog with shrimp salad. Again, here's the picture so you guys can see. Yeah, these guys. Okay, so I want to talk about this one real quick. This is the Ispahan macaron. This is the most divisive sandwich on the chart, with a divisive score of 0.86. So here's the interesting thing about this. I would encourage everybody to try this out and play this with their friends, but you know, this is lawful in the sense that every raspberry has been placed very intentionally. Raspberries don't like fall into place like this. This is very intentional choice. So it's lawful in its internal worldview. But you might say it's chaotic in the sense that it really eschews like traditional sandwich culture. So I think if you bring this to the broader sandwich society, it kind of challenges like norms in a chaotic way. And like this is like legitimately challenging to like sandwich hegemony because like this has a very like pronounced viewpoint. Like this thing is ready to stand up for its beliefs. You know what I mean? This thing is orderly and seriously like alt. Like this is like has its own. You guys know what I'm saying. So this is the most divisive sandwich, and I would encourage everybody to contribute to science. The site is live right now at sandwich-alignment.vercel app, and you can contribute your opinion to science, and you can find me at Instagram at Andrew Boylan, and my website is andrewboylan.com. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Andrew. I was just showing a bunch of people rotating sandwiches for the first time yesterday. Very cool website, and I'm excited to see them aligned. Up next on the open projector, give it up for Liz. Let's go, Liz.
I'm sad I don't have any food. Okay, I think I brought some. Yours probably works better than ours. I don't know. We'll find out. Do you have sound? No. There should not be sound. We will wait for the projector gods. My computer thought about it. Oh, yay. Okay, amazing. Oh, no. It's too much technology at once. So I made a folder for WordHack. I am gonna show this project I've been working on called Folder Party Generator. The kind of basic premise is all a website is just a collection of files in a folder on a computer somewhere, and hosting a website is like inviting your friends over to that folder that you made just for them. So this tool that I've been working on lets you create a website from a set of files in a folder on your computer so you can invite your friends to hang out with you. So I, of course, have created a folder for us. Let's see. I knew that this projector was gonna be, okay, stunning. Just ignore the windows in the background. So I really dug through my hard drive. We've got some, I guess I have a bunch of Snapchat pictures that I've saved. I think there is some stuff here way from oh no. Here. Too much text, too little window. There's some stuff here way from 2012. Some good stuff. There's some good stuff in this folder. You'll have to trust me. I put it together just for us. And notable in this folder is this script called Generate, just a little tiny Node application that I wrote. And then we've got two special folders here. One called Furniture, which has a bunch of pictures that are going to be used to decorate our space. And then a folder way in the corner. None of this text is all that important. It's only what the whole thing is about. There is a CSS file that has some CSS in it, a bunch of just like customizing different variables that'll be used in our folder party website. And I'm gonna run this script, and it's gonna create a little website for us. This is mostly for fancy display. It's actually really fast. So what it did was take a look at everything, all of the files recursively in this directory. It's gonna separate out the sort of like our folder party content from the furniture and the files that we'll use to stylize our party. It's gonna drop that file, create this index HTML file, and then we'll spend some time actually customizing and arranging our party. It's gonna be kind of a mess when we first open it up. Everything on actually, let me close out this instruction modal. Everything in that folder ended up, the file path got added to our site, and when you click on the file, you can see its contents. We've got a bunch of images and some text. I have a video that I can show you later of some real-life pizza rats that I saw on the subway. And we also have, let me close these out. It's a lot to do on a tiny screen. We also have all this furniture that was added to our site from that very special furniture folder. So this is sort of designed, everything's draggable, so you can like sort of make your site as large or as small as you want. I didn't really size this furniture proportionally. That's fine for us. But we've got big chairs, big lamp, tiny couch. And we can sort of arrange our own kind of like folder party composition. Oh yeah, let's look at that Snapchat. Good snap of some trees and light beams. Yeah, and then whenever we're, let me move this up. Whenever we have like a composition that we like, there are these very cool save buttons which let you either save a version with all these instructions so that you can iterate on it, or you can save a copy, a final copy to your folder. And that just saves all of the sort of like positions, all of our sort of like our party arrangement. Yeah, I am hosting another folder party from this tiny computer on my desk at home. Let's see if this works. I have a kind of like public invitation and sort of directions to get to my folder party, because I'm hosting it in a special way. It's like also quite large and comes with a very different set of furniture. It also loads kind of slow because it's talking to that tiny computer on my desk. And there's a bunch of just kind of like sweet meditations about websites and prompts to think about hosting your own, and a bunch of like random memes that I collected from my hard drive. And I think what I love about this constraint of like everything is just a file. It's just a file in a folder, and here's a website that lets you interact with it and sort of make your own space out of the space that's been created for you, is like you can kind of you can sort of play around with the container a little bit by like embedding interactive experiences. through like other HTML docs. So there are lots of fun ways to like play around with this. And then I think, so what I am excited for next is I've been working with a couple artists that I really admire to design furniture sets that will be embedded as a part of the folder party generator, sort of like pre-built but customizable website themes. And I'm also working on a series of sort of like folder party parties where we get to hang out and spend time with our file systems, think about what it might mean to be a good guest on someone else's hard drive, and sort of host each other. So if you're curious about hosting your own folder party, come talk to me. Everything is, of course, on the internet. I am online at liz.website, no liz.com for me, but close enough. That's it.
Thank you so much, Liz. Really cool project. I've been hearing about that for a little bit, and it's excited to see what it looks like. All right. What? The dongle. Wait, this is your dongle? I suppose you can have it. Thank you. All right, we are over the halfway point of the open projector, and because this is an extended one, just want to take a moment to pause and, you know, maybe just do a little reach up and stretch. Just gotta, stretch it out. Get centered, get comfortable, and then focus your intensity so we can give that intense, gratifying audience experience to our remaining 4 presenters. First of whom is going to be Allegra. Give it up for Allegra.
Hey, okay. So there's a couple things I really like. I like fandom. I love being a fan. And the thing that I am a fan of currently is polar exploration. Arctic, Antarctic, sometimes even some mountains. Love it all. My favorite thing in the world. And my favorite thing about these expeditions is the ensemble cast nature. I love all the people. I love figuring out who they were, doing biographical research, going to archives, crying over letters in really hard-to-read handwriting, and people look at you like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, you don't understand. They were friends. That's my favorite thing. I wrote a piece for the Atavist magazine earlier, or almost a year ago, called From Antarctica with Love, which was about how, when doing some of this archival research, I discovered that 2 of the guys on this expedition were actually in love with each other, and they were in a relationship, and it was this privilege that I had to sort of research their lives and, you know, figure out, you know, try and understand, you know, how they felt during this time period. This was in around 1910, and that was an incredibly rewarding experience. There's all these other relationships, too, on these different expeditions from, you know, 100, 150 years ago. All these dudes basically going out. They were like kind of like astronauts. They were kind of like, you know, celebrities of their day. They were famous for doing this stuff, and they were really going to the ends of the earth for various reasons. Some of them personal, some of them sort of like, you know, imperial and colonial. Others, you know, like exploitative and extractive. But there were all reasons why they were there, and they had relationships with the women back home as well, which I'm super interested in. Yeah, so that's the context. So I don't know. Some of you might remember this Onion, this ClickHole article, which It says, be prepared. Experts warn that this polyamorous relationship could expand to cover all of Seattle by 2021. And it has all of these names and how they're related to each other and how they met, and then the polycule just sort of expands. And I just thought this was so funny. And so, of course, I had to make a parody of it about polar explorers. So this is the version that I made. You don't have to know who any of these people are. In fact, I hope you don't. But this was my version of it, and like, sort of drawing connections, and someone's in the banishment zone, and people are in like sort of sub-polycules, all in good fun, of course. There was this one diary I discovered where this guy actually says, "I love you." The rest of it is just sort of in my head and for fun, for full disclosure. That triangle there says, this situation cannot be explained adequately in a single sentence. So I was like, okay, I made this probably in 2021 or 2022. And then I learned, like, the two guys that I wrote this article about are not even on here. Like, that's how early I made this. I was like, I need to update this, but I lost the Photoshop file. So I was like, I think I need to code a new version of this. And so I made a version in D3 a couple years ago, and then I got fired last month, and I was like, what I'm going to do with my time? I'm going to update the interactive polar polycule graph. That's what I'm going to do. So this is it. And let me go to the actual, where is it? Here. So this is it. I'm just going to pull this up and make sure this is good. Okay, so you can click and drag this to your heart's content. You can zoom in, you can zoom out, and you can get pop-ups on the side with a little more information about the person and their relationship. So this is Ernest Shackleton. If there's a polar explorer Americans have heard of, it's probably him for some reason. He was on 3 different expeditions. If you click into one of these expeditions, you can look at the guys who were just on that expedition with him. Here's his soulmate, Frank Wild, R.I.P. They're buried next to each other on South Georgia Island in the sub-Antarctic, which I think is really beautiful. Here's the guy who was sort of left behind when he died. All this very inside baseball stuff, right? So I'm going to click this again to clear it. And look at, they're all bouncing around. They're so happy. Here's Captain Scott. He was second to the South Pole. Nobody in this country knows that. That's okay. I know it. And here's his 2 expeditions. The Terra Nova, that's my favorite. Here's, no, I wanted to go back to that. Here's all my, you can also click into that from here. Here's the one that my article were about. Atkinson and Pennell, they have the literally in love bar between them. Here he is. And then you can also click through from here and to all these different people and look at their relationship. And this is public. This is on my GitHub pages. And if you want to suggest a relationship, you can suggest one, and it'll get emailed to me, and I will put it up. Okay, so I did this, and then I was like, there's other relationship maps I want to make. I feel like this idea of a shipping wall, as we say in the fandom world, has a wider application than just my weird thing that I like. So I made a customizable version. So here's another one that I made. I don't know if any of you guys have seen Deep Space Nine, but I'm finishing up the 6th season right now. I don't want it to be over. I know what happens. I'm scared. But I made this little graph. And of course, Julian and O'Brien died in the Arctic together in past life. So just connecting that to the prior one. Garrick and Bashir, they will be married, inshallah. And a similar thing here where you can open them up on the side. And with this one, it's modifiable directly from the browser. This is all in local storage, so you can add somebody. You can add, like, Jake. Can you see this? Oh, yeah. And then you can add a photo. I'm going to tag him as human. He's not in Starfleet, so I won't give him the Starfleet tag. And then I'm going to go to add a relationship. I'm going to say Jake. And then that's his dad. And there we go. So as you can see, it's also color-coded. So the green means the red is romantic, the green is platonic, and the red is romantic, the blue is platonic, and the green is secret third thing, which is the only way that you can describe the relationship between Quark and Odo. So you can save this, you can publish it to the cloud, you can copy the share link, and when you open it up with the share link, it's read-only. So if you want to share it with somebody but you don't want them to be able to edit them, that's how you would do it, like that. And this is active right now, shipping-wall.web.app. Make your own shipping wall, whether it's your own friend group to chart your sort of romantic adventures, whether it's a TV show or a book that you're reading where you want to say, I want them to be together and not them, and here's why. This is a tool that you can use to sort of broadcast your feelings about pretty much any sort of media that you're enjoying, any historical period that you're enjoying. I'm thinking about my next graph that I want to make to be like the Bloomsbury Group would be a really fun one to do. Stuff like that, like milieus, artistic scenes. This could be a great way to visualize them. And that's the end. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much. That's so cool. Love the DS9 one. But oh my gosh, the detail of the Billabong boys. Love to see it. Thanks so much, Allegra. Really cool project. Up next on the open projector, we have Ben G. Give it up for Ben.
I learned recently that a meeting where you sit in silence for 45 minutes is called a Quaker meeting, so that's kind of reminiscent of this process of hooking up a projector. Okay. Great. So, hi, my name is Benjamin. I'm presenting Scavenger, my hackathon project at Dance Hack 2024. So, Dance Hack is an event. It was in September 27th through the 29th in 2024 in San Francisco. This is a picture of my hackathon team. We've got the reader, David Ruth, coder, dancer, Urchi, coder, dancer, Benjamin, clues dancer, Gintare, clues dancer, Glenna, and this picture will come back later bigger. So, hi, I'm Benjamin. I'm just presenting this to hopefully spark some conversations with folks interested in movement, dance, somatics, and creative coding. What is Dance Hack? Dance Hack is an annual event where movement artists, hackers, and researchers exchange knowledge, challenge assumptions, and co-create at the intersection of dance and technology. Dance Hack brings together creative minds for a 3-day program packed with workshops, collaboration, and mini performances created on the spot. dancehack.org. What is Scavenger? Scavenger is a web app which sent Dance Hack attendees on a photo-driven scavenger hunt, collecting their text responses to clues hidden near the location indicated by the photo. We fed everything into an LLM to generate a Beckett-style story, read live while a group of 4 improvised a dance. The clues are lost to time because they were all written down and I did not digitally record them. So roughly the flow of creation was left to right. Images led to clues. Clues generated responses from real people, input on their phone. And we took the responses, created a story, and the story led to a dance. And this is a photorealistic generation of the UI because I didn't feel like bootstrapping the app again. So there's a picture, a text input, and a button where you can submit the response. Clues. So clues were hidden around the facility hosting the hackathon. This is an example of a telephone that you were supposed to find and the clues hidden behind the telephone. There were a lot more clues. Roughly, the architecture of the app. So there's a player in the top left. First, they open the site, served by a Phoenix Framework server. The server sends a photo to the phone. The person types a response. The Scavenger app saves the response in a database. Python script reads the database, creates the story, and then prints it to the terminal or a file. Yeah, so here are some example responses. My pet goose said honk a lot and smoked cigarettes. When the sun shines, it makes my skin melt. And my personal favorite, Glubtupus wemble. Skipping Spider-Man, my 50-year-old tortoise lives to play soccer with me. And the bottom right note here is a note to self. The participants didn't actually have to find the clues. They could actually just respond to the photos. So in a future work, I might consider constraining the response so they actually have to find the clue. The prompt we used was instructions: you are an expert storyteller and writer, write like Samuel Beckett, combine the material into a coherent story, and it's okay to break apart the sentences and mix and match them. So I just wanted to share a quick excerpt from the story. Very surreal, but coherent. In the Yellowfoot tea shop, laughter ebbed and flowed, a tapestry woven from the smoke of my pet goose, who spoke in honks and clutched a cigarette. Afternoon tea, a nice addition to collapsing existence, while the computer, resting indolence, churned endlessly, a data point in the tragic comedy of our lives. Meanwhile, the inhabitants of a lively room chatting endlessly circled about like lost souls trapped in the echo of their own words. I, Stephanie, felt at peace, though the skies wept, pouring sunshine that made my skin melt. Was it mild, or merely the anxious heat of yearning? A longing for gazpacho, perhaps? My 50-year-old tortoise, ... The end. At first, I was anxious about how to utilize everyone's full talents, since not everybody was a coder. And we created the idea very quickly on the spot. And also, I didn't want to fall into an old habit of just doing all the work on my own. But in the end, I didn't really need to worry at all, because everybody contributed equally in their own way, from brainstorming to clue generation, to writing the clues, to hiding them and or coding. Come to WordHack 2026 in February 20 through the 22nd. It's in UC Berkeley. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Ben. Dance hack. Word hack for dancing. Send love to Android with your shipping wall web app. Great. Up next on the Open Projector, excited to welcome back Nick Montfort.
It's detecting it.
Also, Rhodey, I just saw your message. Are we still having issues with the capture card? Are we good?
All right. English. So I will print this, but I'll have to print it later. The reading. In the new art, there will also always be old literature. In the new art can be divested of intentionality. What is more meaningful? The book as a totality that transmits the author's intentions, but only the first link in the history of literature. But the natural, unavoidable development of the new art, writing a text, is poetry because it uses space in this or that way, but that using space is the music of unsung poetry. Or every word is part of that book. A writer writes texts. Chicken and eggs. But only the first link in the time. You can read only if you understand, but they don't sing them. In the old art, just as the ultimate meaning of words is indefinable, so the author's intention is unfathomable. Every word exists as an element of a structure. In a book, in the same way. In order to be able to manifest itself concretely, language must first become abstract. It neglects intentions and utility, and it returns to itself. It investigates itself, looking for forms, for series of forms that give birth to, couple with, unfold into space-time sequences. Another book. Space. You can read only if you understand. Paradox. In order to read the new art, the reading rhythm changes, quickens, speeds up. It is the mother of rhetoric. In the new art, and to understand it, you don't need to read the last page. It takes as much time as to read the old art has come to, is to be able to manifest itself concretely. Language must first become abstract. Every book of the text it contains, a book is a sequence of moments. In the new art, the old art takes no heed of reading. Poetry. One of these spaces is perceived at a different reading. In spoken and written language, pronouns substitute for nouns so as to avoid tiresome, superfluous repetitions. In spoken and written language, pronouns substitute for nouns so as to avoid tiresome, superfluous repetitions. Paradox. In order to be able to manifest itself concretely, language must first become abstract. Everyday language is that which lies beyond all that the most essential or important part of that form. Here begins the new art. The old art takes no heed of reading. I'll print this one out later too. And we can do it in Spanish. I'll just read a little of it. La secuencia. El espacio existe fuera de la misma manera, pero no la cantan. Ambos lenguajes se diferencian solo en su forma exterior. Es el terreno real de la poesía. El lenguaje más completo es el libro. Por eso, él las escoge con cuidado. So this work, Arte Nuevo, New Art, is celebrating 50 years of Ulises Carrion's writings, the New Art of Making Books, published in 1974 as El Arte Nuevo de, I don't know why I didn't say Nuevo Art, but El Arte Nuevo de Hacer Libros, and then in 1975 in his English version, The New Art of Making Books. And I think I'm hopeful that it resonates with his point in what he wrote, which he himself wrote a text, but he was a preeminent and very early book artist, someone who made books and was pointing out that simply writing a text is different than constructing a book and making a sequence of moments